Hey everyone, this is round 2 of the Music City Open that happened back in August.
August 3rd through the 5th.
And I am Sara Lamberson. I'm joined by Mckaskle, who is the vice president of the Music City Disc Golf Club and was also the tournament director of the Music City Open.
What up, Lambo?
Hey. So this first round we are playing Cane Ridge Park. There's 2 courses actually at this park. This is the long advanced course, and it's right outside of Nashville in Antioch, Tennessee. So on this card we are having Elaine King, Madison Walker, and myself.
Hey, girl.
Shout out to Ben Howard who put this footage together. Really looking forward to seeing this. It was pretty. I mean, look at this intro. It's so dramatic.
So dramatic, yeah. And also Donovan Barnett and Brittany Barnett, Donovan's wife.
Yep.
They were instrumental in this process as well. And thank you guys so much for giving us this coverage. But yeah, we got Elaine King, Madison Walker, and Sara Lamberson.
All right, so this is hole 1. It is 395 feet. It's a little bit challenging because you've got the OB on the right-hand side in the form of a driveway, and then you also have some pretty thick woods on the left-hand side. And this plays for an island. None of us went for this from the tee shot, but a lot of the men were going for this, I guess figuring if they went OB and near the island, they would still have a putt because the island is probably about, what would you say, 40 feet?
Yeah, probably about 40 feet. But it didn't really pay off for a whole lot of them. There were some really unfortunate, kick-offs of the edge.
Yeah.
Zach Melton had a really brutal kick-off of like an invisible curve on the left side.
Yep.
Safe play is definitely laying up left of the OB and having a nice, good shot up.
So you'll see here, Madison had a really good throw. Myself, not so much. I think I was a little bit nervous on the tee and just put it way left, hyzered out. And Elaine also kind of threw a little bit too straight into that bushy bush right in the middle of the fairway.
It's easy to do.
Yep. So here you see us trying to lay up to the green.
That's a good shot.
Got there successfully, and Elaine's going to try the same. Very good.
Also a good shot. Annoying tree.
Yes. And from this point, I think Elaine, I think we've actually missed a shot in here. But Elaine and I are putting for 4, and Madison is laying up for her easy 3. Unfortunately, I doink my putt, and I will be taking the 5. See if Elaine can...
It has happened to me on hole 1 many times.
Hey, well, if Elaine does it, then I don't feel so bad.
Yeah. I mean, you were not alone.
Yes. So there's Madison tapping in for her easy par, and Elaine and I both cleaning up for our double bogeys, which is not how you want to start out on the first hole.
I don't know, man. Sometimes I feel like if I can get the real bad ones out of the way first, I'm feeling a little better going into the rest of the round. A lot of golf left.
Yeah,
kind of
for sure.
But the trouble is when you anyway. Yeah. So this is hole 2, 725 feet. It's a par 4. This is very long, obviously, and there are some there's a tricky natural OB on the right in the tree line that is not actually OB. The road and everything left of it is OB, and the pavement beyond is OB. So, very technical long shot.
So the play that a lot of people are doing on this hole, you'll see Madison do this, is the flex shot. So she's throwing something, maybe a shrike, maybe something a little bit more overstable, and trying to turn it over toward the woods on the right and just letting it flex out short of the OB.
You see that a lot in the men's coverage too, but you ladies seem to have better touch on this shot because I saw a lot of guys go into the woods and over the road, just trying to crush it up the field.
It's easy to do. It's a very skinny fairway.
And once you get past that dip, it's all uphill.
Yep.
And so you lose a lot of distance there. So it's tempting to crush it.
Yeah.
But all of those are very solid throws.
Yeah, mine, I threw a little bit too understable. My goal on this is just not to go out of bounds, and I threw a little bit too understable and hit that tree, unfortunately.
And that's unfortunate there, too.
Yeah. And again, just trying to get away from that OB, and she just pulled it right a little bit into the woods.
I mean, it's so confusing there. It's like an optical illusion because you want to ride the right side. You almost want to kind of hug that so that you don't risk skipping over the road. But
Yep. So here again, you'll see Madison doing that backhand flex shot, throwing something a little bit more overstable and letting it come back. And she's in a great position for her par. Elaine, unfortunately, has to do kind of a little bit of a step out and hyzer, but she'll be there as well.
Yeah, that was a great shot. That was a really tough place for her to have to pitch out from.
Yeah. And then I believe I put mine a little bit short.
That's puttable for you.
Yeah. So Elaine's got her easy approach shot. Perfect,
Very
right
nice
under the
up.
basket.
Yep.
And Madison looks like she's going to be running for her 3, which would be great on this hole.
Yeah, it's always frustrating when you end up that close and you're still under par, but I mean that's a long pitch right
Yeah.
there.
And I have some some early putting woes on this course.
Get it out of the way.
Yep.
Never too late to have a good round.
That's true.
Shout
Every
out to
hole,
Paige Bierkes.
yeah, every hole is a new beginning. So I just tapped out for my 5. Not a great start. And Madison will tap in for her par.
4, yeah.
Yep. And I believe Elaine took her 5 as well.
Mm-hmm.
These slow-mos are awesome. Look at that.
Yeah, great footage from Howard Disc Golf. This is great to watch.
Yeah.
So right now.
So Elaine and I are we're tied for the round at +3, and Madison's sitting really good right now at par. So this hole it's one of the longest holes, wooded holes in the course. So from this time on, most of the holes are pretty wooded, and it's 595 feet, tunnel shot, lots of trees, and it goes uphill toward the end, and the basket kind of sits up here on the right. So very, very difficult shot, and the first thing that you want to do is just get through this initial tunnel of trees.
It gets tight right there.
Yeah. If you've got a flick, the flick is the perfect shot for this if you can get around those trees.
Yeah.
And get back. And there's actually is it like a dry little creek bed down there?
Yeah.
So if you can
Little
get
gulch.
Yeah, if you can get there or a little bit beyond that, you're in perfect placement to get your 4. So Elaine turns it over a little bit, but still not a bad position.
And obviously there are a ton of trees out at Cane Ridge, but it's been designed really well where if you're not too incredibly far off, great shot.
Thank you.
If you're not too incredibly far off the fairway, you have gaps. There are multiple tunnels if you can put a nice little touch flick or something out there.
So Madison doesn't get a whole lot of distance on her drive, but makes up for it
Yes.
somewhat on her approach shot. It gets just below, or just above the little creek bed there.
If you end up in that gully, it can be difficult to make your way back up to the pin because you end up blind. It's a lot steeper than it looks from here, but
Yep. Well, so you'll see my my attempt. So I actually ended up in that creek bed over to the right,
you know,
and it was really hard for me to pitch out, just the bad footing and a lot of trees between me and the basket. So I've got to do a couple step out shots here and just try to make my way up that hill as much as possible. And then you see Madison kind of going for it with her flick shot, getting as close to the basket as
That's a
possible.
great shot, yeah.
Great shot. Elaine, same thing, just trying to combat all of these trees that are between her and the basket.
and this is kind of, pardon the pun, but par for the course
Yep.
at Cane Ridge.
So I lay mine up, perfect to take yet another 5. And Elaine is going to match it and also take a 5 if she can convert on that putt. Oh, just a little bit low. That would have been a great.
It can be tricky out there reading those slopes. They're gradual and sometimes they don't really strike out as a change in elevation, but
Yep. Great putt by Elaine.
yep.
She's very consistent with those straddle putts that she's been doing. I've been seeing her playing a lot I was just at Worlds and then at the Delaware NT, and the straddle putting is working well for her.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, here's a little slow-mo by me.
Yeah, gangster.
So we
Look at
see
that.
that Elaine and I are both +4 for the
Tied up.
round. Yep. And Madison is +1, so she's holding it down pretty good.
And we are now moving on to hole 4, 306 feet. It is a par 3. Still not a slouch hole. There's a lot of trees out there. It's uphill. And the basket is tucked behind some guardian objects. You've got a fallen tree right there. A lot of people try to just kind of place it near that fallen tree and pitch up from there. But you can get lucky and you can get unlucky. Real
Yep.
easy.
This hole plays a little bit longer than
It does. It's
it
uphill.
looks.
Yeah.
Well, it's like uphill and then it goes downhill. But when
Right,
we were at the
and then
tee,
you got a doom putt.
yeah, we all thought that Madison was parked. And then let's see what Elaine can do. That looked like a great shot if it can get past those trees.
Yeah, and she's still got to look for her 3, but...
Yep. And then I'm throwing my favorite mid-range, especially in the woods. It's my G-Star Mako 3.
Oh, yeah?
And same thing, from the tee, we all thought that my disc was parked. So
Still some work to do on that green, yeah.
Definitely.
It's deceiving.
And there's a downhill slope behind the basket, so it's, even from where Madison and I landed, it's kind of a death putt to go for that. So you see Elaine kind of rolled away. I just lay mine up. I'm not even going to mess with that at this point. All I want to do is just get a par after those 3 5s. And Madison goes for it, but just a little bit low, unfortunately. Yeah. And tap in for my 3. Madison runs down there for her 3. And Elaine's got a little bit more work to do. Let's see if she can get her 3 as well. Oh.
Man, Cane Ridge giveth and Cane Ridge taketh away.
Yes. She'll get this one, though. I believe in her. There you go.
You know, you hear a lot of people talk about the benefits of a general philosophy where you play for your 3 or your par and you let the birdies come to you. I think nowhere is that truer than at Cane Ridge.
Yep.
You just got to stay between those trees, get your forward motion, make it into the basket as soon as you possibly can.
Definitely.
So Elaine's still holding that +1. Madison and Sara even for the course.
So this is hole 5. It's 277 feet. This plays a little bit longer too. It's uphill, but it's got a sloping right to left green. And there are a lot of guardian trees. And if you hyzer out too early, it gets thick down there. Yes. You also have kind of a very tight tunnel to shoot through right off of the tee, so it's pretty tricky. But the forehand shot, what Madison's doing here, is a great shot for this off the tee.
Yeah, I think Cane Ridge has an interesting dynamic because, you know, in Nashville and a lot of other areas, you kind of get to choose between your short technical wooded courses and your big wide open courses, and you don't really see a whole lot of really long and technical courses, and Cane Ridge is definitely that.
For sure. So my play on this is I just threw a really beat up rock, and my play is just to get out of this initial shoot and take my 3. I don't get greedy on this at all because I know if I throw anything faster than a mid-range, it's going to hyzer out left.
Right.
So Elaine looks like she's doing the same thing, throwing a mid-range. She hits a little bit early. She gets another tree. And this was a very sad throw for me. I had a perfect line to the basket, and it hit this little branch that I didn't even see above me, and then could not convert for my 3. So that was kind of a surprise. It was one of those
Lord
things
just
that,
reached down and smacked your disc out of the air.
I was like, oh, that was really good, and then this branch just came out of nowhere. So
bummer.
Madison had a really good drive. Had a jump putt look at it. And Elaine's got kind of a death putt down the hill. So she'll be converting for her 4 back up the hill. And she's able to do that.
Yeah. Solid putt.
Yes. And I will be tapping in for my 4 as well. And Madison will be getting her par on this. Continuing to get more strokes on us.
Yeah. She played solid golf all weekend.
She did, yeah. Little slow-mo action. Boom.
I fanboyed out on Elaine a little bit while she was down.
So Elaine is +6, I'm +5, and Madison is +1 for the round.
All right, this is hole 6, 372 feet. Par 3. This is a really tricky one. It doglegs hard to the right at the very end of the fairway. I've seen some people trying to take a big anhyzer or big sidearm and get over top of the coverage on the right-hand side and try and get a little bit up that last part of the dogleg, but it's tricky and you can end up in the thickness of all that of that trees there at the corner. So safe shot is just to try to get right down there.
Yep. I'm actually surprised this is a par 3. I don't know how many people would be taking a 2 on this hole, but yeah, like you said, the initial goal off of the tee, I just want to throw straight. I think I'm throwing a mid-range. I think I threw my rock or my Mako there. And that's really
That's
just
a
to get
great
out of the
shot,
chute.
yeah.
And then, I've got a straight shot to the basket.
Yep.
Elaine,
Getting a little more aggressive, I think, there.
trying to put it around the corner. But once you get around the corner, there are a lot of different large gaps up through the trees. And I hit an early tree, but it kind of works for me. I got a forward kick.
Yeah, and the grass is short. It's a lot of sandy, real fine dirt right there, so there's some skip action.
Yeah. So Madison taking out a lot of the fairway on the left-hand side, and she'll have a putt for her three.
Putt.
Yeah. And Elaine's got another fair. I think we all threw from 3 different little fairways, and Elaine puts it perfectly next to the basket.
That's a great shot, yeah.
So here's my little forehand touch shot. You don't see, you will rarely see me throwing a driver forehand, but I throw a lot of those little touch putter shots.
That's about the size of my game, too. You'll see me sidearm some stuff with putters and approach discs, but.
So I think if we took 3s on this, it would feel like a birdie.
Yeah. It's a tough hole.
Yeah.
That dog leg is just so awkward. Like.
Yeah, it is.
It makes it hard to really feel confident in any kind of drive.
Yeah, unless you have a really big flick shot around the corner that skips, which I'm not sure is even possible on that
Well, it's hard
terrain.
because it's coming down with the wing down, and it doesn't, you don't have that angle. If you can get around the corner, your disc isn't on an angle where the wing can hit the ground with enough trajectory to skip, I guess.
We get the slow-mo from Madison.
I loved in the the flyover footage that Central Coast did. Madison was laying down on the tee pad.
Oh yeah, I saw that. So we went, Madison and I both took 4s, and Elaine took her 3 on that. So hole 7, this is one of my favorite shots. It plays from the parking lot, and it's this really short 270-foot par 3 down the hill. It used to be a little bit easier because the pin was right in the middle.
Laser straight shot.
Yep, and they moved it off and up to the left a little bit. So it's definitely still birdieable, but you have a little creek bed down there. It's not OB. You just have a lot of trees, and the name of the game here is just to keep it straight.
Yep. And the ground at the bottom changes angles drastically from, the majority of the fairway, so skips are a little weird down there.
So this is looking like a great shot for Madison coming in. Oh, yeah. Over the creek, yep, and she will have a putt from there. And I'm throwing a putter.
I usually do right there, too.
Yep. And I think that went... Oh, yeah, that went over right a little bit too far, and I got a really good forward skip. Yeah, so I've got my look for the birdie. And I converted it!
Oh, what a great shot.
I forgot that I did that.
That probably spiked, but yeah, that was great.
Thank you.
It's fun to watch.
We'll call that circle 2.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. So Madison will also have her look for the birdie. Oh, just short. And with all the tree coverage, it gets a little bit dark in
it really
these
does.
woods.
Especially, obviously you got to stay out of the way of the players, and you might be standing in a place that's better lit, and then you're shooting into a dark area.
Yeah, for sure.
Looks like it turned nighttime.
I know.
Right there.
So Madison and Elaine taking their pars, and I was able to convert.
Look at that putt.
For my birdie. Woohoo.
Dang. All right, so Sara taking a 2, getting 1 stroke on the card. And we are on to hole 8, 240 feet. It's par 3. This one's birdieable for sure. It's kind of a gentle hyzer through a tight gap, but the basket is not in an unmanageable place. But there are lots of trees. So, it's a shorty, but plenty of places to get choked up.
Yeah, and there's also, so you have to combat with this giant tree on your left and the smaller tree on your right, and then it's very thick woods on your left with a downward sloping green right toward it.
Yes.
So thank you. So it's hard to get through that first gap, but once you do, if you can put something up a little bit high and it doesn't hyzer in too much, then you're right there. So I was able to park it, and Elaine has a really good look at it too as well.
Yeah.
And Madison bringing out her backhand, using that overstable flex shot.
The backhand is the obvious choice for this shot, but it gets dangerous because of that right to left slope where the basket is. You can skip down into some trouble.
So her shot leaves her off to the left a little bit, but she's able to have a look.
Very nice putt from
and Elaine converts for the 2. Nice. Yeah. You may be wondering why Elaine's wearing a tank top because it was about 100 degrees.
Yes, it was very hot and humid.
And next time you see me throw, I was just drenched in sweat. So
it was the common narrative
yes.
for the weekend. It got very hot and very, very, I don't want to say moist on the commentary.
You said it. You already said it.
That was where I was going anyway in my mind. But look at that putt from Elaine.
Oh, that was
Smashed
awesome.
It. All right, so yeah, Elaine and you taking your birdies on that hole. That's awesome.
Yep. So this next hole is another shorty. Definitely a hole that you want to get a birdie on. It's 182 feet. It's uphill. You're playing back toward the tennis courts. It's just kind of a straight shot. I throw a mid-range with a little bit of hyzer and just hope that it scoots up there.
Yeah.
But if you don't keep it straight, then you are battling with all of the trees. So again, I'm throwing my G-Star Mako 3, and I'm able to put it right there.
Yep, perfect. Exactly where you want to be.
Looks like Elaine's also got a mid-range, and she kind of plays the same.
And she's
same
still in
thing
good
as
shape.
I do.
I mean,
Yep, she actually gets a roll away though. There's some rocks and some roots up there, so if you
a
hit
lot of stuff to
something-
bounce off of.
Yeah. And Madison unfortunately puts it a little bit too left in the woods, but she'll have a look for her 3. We'll see if Elaine can convert for her 2. Get up there.
Almost.
Just short. Madison's gonna have a similar look. Oh, very close.
Right off the bogey band.
Yep. And we'll see if I can put it in the basket for her 2.
She shoots, she scores. Oh.
Oh, I know.
It looked so good.
It was such a terrible spit out. I was very, very sad. That's okay. I felt like I had the 2, so I still continued on to the next hole with that confidence.
Yeah.
I just forgot about the putt coming out of the basket at the end.
Yeah, you executed perfectly.
Thanks. So Elaine and Madison will also tap in for their 3s.
All right, star frame as they say.
Yeah. So here's a look at the front 9. So I shot a 33, Elaine a 34, and Madison with a hot front 9 of a 31.
Yeah. Tight race.
Yes. All right, so that is the end of the front 9 on Cane Ridge of the 2018 Music City Open, and we will see you on the back 9.
Yep.
Thanks a lot.
Let's make a change. Let's make a change. Let's make a change.